honor the iiRcade releasing 1988 TAD Corporation's game Cabal on the iiRcade. Game is really pretty simple. You destroy everything. You can be either a blue soldier or a red soldier. During this gameplay, I'm going to be playing with Punk Rock Dave. I am the blue player. Punk Rock Dave is the red player. This game plays fantastic online. Offers co-op play without a glitch. We ran the whole game. Takes about 30 minutes for two decent players to run this game. In this game, you use a joystick or a trackball in the arcade to move your player left or right, and then you move your cursor to shoot at the various enemies in buildings. You have a fire button, a grenade button, and a roll button. The roll can be used for defensive maneuvering. Early versions of the game, from what I've learned, came with a trackball, and later versions of the game came out with a joystick. You can either play as the red or the blue player. The goal is to take out all the enemy bases with your machine guns and grenades, all while not getting shot. There's an enemy bar at the bottom of the screen that depletes as your enemies are taken out. Pretty much everything in this game can be destroyed, and destruction is a huge part of the game. There are 5 stages with 4 screens each in Cabal. Here's a little information on TAD Corporation, because I didn't know much about this arcade company. They were a Japanese manufacturer of video arcade games. They were based in Tokyo, Japan, and founded by former employees of Data East. The company was named after Tadashi Tad Yokoyama, so it's named after one of its founder. Pretty cool. That's where the name TAD comes from. The best known arcade game that they did is the 1988 shooting game Cabal, as well as their second game, which is a platformer called Toki. It's also on iiRcade. It's very fun. I'd recommend checking it out. Taito, Temco, and Sammy assisted TAD in distributing their arcade titles. Their game lineup, as far as what they made: Cabal was in 1988, Toki 1989, Blood Brothers 1990, Legionnaire 1992, and their final game was Heated Barrel, and also in 1992. I believe all the TAD Corporation games, with the exception of Legionnaire, are going to be released on iiRcade, which is very exciting. So far, I'm very impressed by these games. Secret to getting more points is vehicles tend to get you more points. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. We're on to the boss, the helicopter level. You have to shoot the projectiles that it fires down at you. This game definitely is challenging, and this would be a hard game to run on a single quarter. So I think part of the challenge of this game will be learning how to use less quarters to complete the game. Massive shout out to Nix, who has done a single quarter run through of this game. Shortly after the game came out on iiRcade, he was able to complete the game on a single quarter. And he is a phenomenal gamer. He has tutorials on his channel that teach how to play these games better. And I'm going to put a link up right now where you can go to his channel, check out some of his videos, some of his content. But he's new to the iiRcade community. I think the work he's doing is amazing. Here I am entering level 2. Each level is a little different, but they all kind of have the Vietnam Rambo kind of war theme to them. Here I am at the pond, taking out some scuba Steves. You got the scuba divers popping out of the water. Focus on the vehicles if you want to get points. I do find the button placement on this game is not as good as in Blood Brothers. The way that they arrange the buttons I don't like as much. But that's a minor gripe. It's something you get used to after a few minutes of playing. But I do think that the controls, the way the buttons are lined up, are better in Blood Brothers. This game is really fun. One of the fun things is finding out all the stuff you can actually shoot and destroy. I mean, the environment is very destructible, and every time I've played it, I've found something else that I could destroy. Watch him run across water. That's crazy. The silly running, I love that part of the game. But you have all kinds of stuff in the background you can destroy. Taking out the boat. Greed mechanic, because you do have to pick up the points. After you destroy something, the points go to where you can run back and forth, so you do have to scoop up the points. They do go away if you don't get them kind of quick. Another thing interesting with this game is that you cannot shoot and move, so you're either shooting or you're moving. So since you're pretty much destroying so much stuff, I mean, you have to decide, you know, when do I have to release that button and move. This jet plane is a pain. It comes in and it drops the napalm on you. Those bombs are a pain. And you hear that crazy sound effect in the background. This is a cool helicopter sound effect. More crazy running. Cabal was somewhat innovative for the time it was released because it featured a 3D perspective in which the player is situated in the foreground with an over-the-shoulder camera view. This is similar to today's third-person shooters. Once again, you cannot move while firing. When you're holding down the fire button, it gives you control of the aiming cursor. And to move, you have to let go of the fire button, then you can move left and right. Aiming cursor moves in tandem when you move left and right. This dynamic creates a need for careful balance between offensive and defensive gameplay that separates Cabal from other run-and-gun shooters which relied more upon simple reflexes. This game did receive a few ports. It was ported to home computers of the time when it came out. It came out on some DOS computers, the Amstrad, the Commodore 64, and the ZX Spectrum all had versions. The Atari ST had a version, and the Amiga. It was also imported to the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, by Rare. A version for the Atari Lynx was planned, but it never came to be. It was never released. The game was followed by a sequel in 1990 called Blood Brothers. The difference with Blood Brothers is it's a Western theme, where Cabal is a Vietnam era theme. And the Vietnam War movies were popular at the time when this came out. You gotta remember, this was when Rambo was all the rage. I have to say, for me, First Blood was always one of my favorite movies. Well, you know, I lived through this time period, and it just was a really good story. Moving right along, here I am killing some frogmen in this pond. This gameplay is 100% online on iiRcade. We're playing the real arcade game. Dave lives in Pennsylvania. I live in Louisiana. And this game plays pretty much perfect. Here we go. What do you find in this tiny pond? A gigantic submarine. Now, I don't know how you get a submarine in a pond, but hey, you know, that's something you just have to accept in Cabal. But you know, you definitely want to use your grenades on the bigger vehicles. The boss battles can basically be quarter munchers. I mean, they were designed to basically kill you. The dodge mechanic on this game is less forgiving than in the game Blood Brothers, which is another game which I reviewed. It was a sequel to this game. And I'll compare them at the end. Taking shots at the submarine, trying to get it to sink. Guns keep popping out. And we both lost lives. When you die, it resets your score to 0. So all the points you gained are lost. That is why being able to 1/4 run this game is going to be so crucial if you want to get on the elite, mega elite leaderboards for this game. The game does have leaderboards and they're fully enabled, which is awesome. That is a feature that iiRcade has. It definitely makes you want to play more, it makes you want to push yourself, and it is fun to see how you stack up against other people playing the game. It brings a lot of value to buying games on iiRcade. And I think all arcade games on there should have leaderboards because it is a great thing to have. It just totally pushes you to play. There we go, we got the submarine. And let's watch the animation of the end. We got some running. And they go through the water. Always keep that gun out of the water. Level 3. Level 3 is going to end with a battle against a truck that comes out with a ton of guns on it. Love it when you destroy buildings. It's just something rewarding about that. When you get into a fresh level, and you're just thinking, what do I want to destroy first, you know? And that's cool. Immediately they destroy all of our cover, so we don't have anything to hide behind now. The game does ramp up the difficulty. It does get progressively harder as you go through the game. But it never gets impossible. Now I will say on single player, it's pretty tough. So people that are single player in this game, single player, you got some skills. You gotta have some skills. This is no cakewalk. This game did inspire, its success did inspire several Cabal clones. Probably the most well-known of them is NAM 1975, which is also a war shooting gallery arcade game. It was produced by SNK in 1990. It was one of the launch titles for the Neo Geo MVS arcade and the Neo Geo AES. Interesting thing about NAM 1975 is that it is the only Neo Geo game that does not feature the Neo Geo boot screen in its attract mode. And it was one of the pack-in games for the AES. Just some Neo Geo history. The strafing of these helicopters is a pain. You got so many enemies coming on, and then you got these helicopters just laying down fire. 10,000 points for destroying the building. People that play for score are telling me that hitting the vehicles is where all the points are, though. I did a short form review of this game too, as well as this, which is the total uncut gameplay of the full run. Playing through Cabal from beginning to end, 2 players online. One of the great things about iiRcade is that they're constantly releasing new games and real arcade games, and then they're making them online, which is just fantastic. I mean, yeah, as we get more and more games that are real arcade games where we can play 2-player online, I think our community is going to continue to grow and expand. I think iiRcade 2, one of the great things about it is they're going for titles that are lesser known. I think you discover a lot of games that you might have not seen or you might have slept on when they came out. You just might have missed. Or some games came out in other countries, or maybe you never even got to play the game. Maybe it never came to the United States. So you get to see games that are new to you and give you new experiences. And also, you get to play the games with your friends, you know. And iiRcade is a very tiny community. make some friends and just communicate with your friends when you want to play online. I mean, it works well. I mean, the idea of just picking up and playing with random people where they'll quit halfway through, it doesn't appeal to me. I want to play these games online with my friends, and iiRcade is delivering on that promise. This level is cool. You're fighting with a ship in the distance. As you move through the levels, you get more people throwing grenades. It becomes more and more challenging. There's a lot more bullets. There's a lot less places to hide. There's less cover. So the game kind of brings on the difficulty towards the end. The game shows how many lives you have left by the hearts in the top left corner. At the bottom, you have an enemy health line that tells you how much more damage you have to do to the enemy to complete the level. So you kind of know where you're at, how much further you have to go to beat the level. The helicopter sounds in this game are really good. I will say that. And also the laughing skull that's constantly taunting you throughout the game is kind of good too. What do you think of this game? Have you played the game before? Leave an answer in the comments. This game I had never seen before. I never played it. We're playing it on iiRcade. I purposely did not play the game. First time I played the game was on the Friday Night Arcade show done by Brooklyn Menace. Check it out. It's a great show. Comes on Friday nights. Here we are facing off with another boss. These trucks come out and drop these guns at you, which are constantly lobbing. The blue projectiles just seem to have deadly precision. I mean, they seem to really zone in on you pretty good. You got to kill a bunch of these trucks to get through this boss battle. Very cool with the ship in the background. I'd like to replay this a bunch more and see, is that ship even destructible? Can you destroy the ship in the background? I don't know. Pretty cool though. This game is a lot of fun, and I would recommend it. I'm going to give it a high rating as a co-op game playing with another player, even online. I would give this game like a 9, playing 2-player at the same time. Single player though, I would have to knock it a little bit. It's really balanced more for 2 players playing at once. It's very challenging. Single player, I would probably give it like an 8 as a single player arcade game. Still a good game, still great fun, and I think really if you want to master this game, playing single player, you're going to really have to learn how to dodge. You have to learn how to really get good at predicting the incoming bullet patterns and stuff. And this game does have a lot of replay value in my opinion. The game has lots of different scenery as you go through the different missions. Once again, 20 levels in all. I love the way they run off at the end. That's probably one of my favorite things of the game. They do that in Blood Brothers too, and they carried that over. That was a good call, because I think that's really funny. Another thing the game has that's interesting is there is a certain greed mechanic, because when you destroy buildings, the points appear at the bottom, and you do have to run over them to get them. So when you destroy things, in order to get the bonuses, you have to run to where the points are. The game does have power-ups where you can get different guns, which increase your firepower. It's always a fine line between shooting and letting. Whenever you're shooting, you can't move, so you have to let go of the fire button to move, and that makes the game pretty challenging. The game came out in arcades originally with a trackball, and I know iiRcade is working on trackballs being implemented, and I'm sure this is going to be one of the games that people are going to want to play on trackball when it does finally come out. I know Glenn's Retro Show, GRS, is working on a whole new control panel, and the guys over at Uplay are also working on a brand new control panel. Just going to give us a lot of options for, you can kind of customize the iiRcade, which I think is a pretty cool thing. iiRcade really is a premium product. I have a lot of arcades, and my iiRcade definitely gets the most action. Just because the games are fun and they have leaderboards. If you haven't checked it out, I do a show called The iiRcadians. It's a community show for the iiRcade. It's made by fans. It is an unofficial show, not sponsored at all by iiRcade. It's just people that like iiRcade come on. Check it out if you get a chance. Also check out my channels, Papa Brad's Gaming. I have a ton of iiRcade reviews on my channel. There's a ton of iiRcade game reviews also on the iiRcadians channel. The iiRcadians show also has a Facebook, which is pretty cool. Check it out. Join the Facebook group, the iiRcadians. We got a lot of cool people in the community that post links to YouTube videos they've done and post messages in there. It's a pretty cool Facebook group. It's still small. Looking forward to pick up Heated Barrel, which will be the next game coming out. That is a TAD Corporation game. I have to say, I really have enjoyed Cabal, Toki, and Blood Brothers so far. You know, it's hard to rate them, but I would probably say my favorite is probably Blood Brothers, and then Toki probably second, and then Cabal would be my third choice. Haven't played Heated Barrel yet, and I'm really excited to check that one out. It is one of their last games. Might be yeah, it looks like it is the last game they made. 1992 Barrel came out. The gun upgrades are cool. Once again, there is that greed element where you want to get the gun, but when you go to get the gun, you get shot by a stray bullet. Going into a boss level. Always want to use them grenades before you die. And just like that, grenades helped a lot. Level 5. Going to the last level. 5,000 point bonus. These gray soldiers tend to drop grenades, which are always good to have. Got a tank in the background. Got tons of grenades being dropped. All over cover getting destroyed. Difficulty is really ramped up as we get into the last 5 levels of the game. Here's a flyer for the arcade game Cabal, and it did say on the marquee, it said "Dare the Danger." That was kind of like their slogan for this game. Punk Rock Dave has been doing a great job hanging in there. Helped me complete all these levels. Really enjoyed playing the game all the way through with him. Getting crazy. The grenades are a huge pain in here. A lot more bullets, a lot more going on. It's getting pretty crazy. If you get near the end of this playthrough of Cabal, helicopters coming out. And we have another level done. Leave a comment if you've played this game before. I'm curious how many people played this game in the arcade. You know, speaking to Nix, he said he played this at a bowling alley when he was young. It was one of the games they had, and he played it all the time. They had this in Toki. But I'm curious how many people came across this game in the wild. I know I never really saw it at an arcade. Even doing all the arcade tours I've done, it's not been a predominantly featured game. So I was surprised that I had not seen it before. Look at how many enemies they're throwing on the screen. This is the part where they're trying to, you know, basically get all the quarters that you have. It's like, just stuff coming from everywhere. And we do get the level done. 5-4. Almost to the end boss. End boss is coming up. All we gotta do is hang in there. Oh, I hate it when they do they lob those kind of grenades like that. It's very hard to dodge. Some more tanks. Got caves in the background. The jets dropping bombs. Look at that. Boom. And those are tough. They'll take you out just like that. Boom. I call it the napalm. Coming out with the stretcher and getting another one. Grenades are coming. Nothing worse than dying on your last life and then dying with a whole bunch of grenades too. Always pitch those. If you know you're on your last life, I mean, I'm saying just pitch them, use them, and you can't take it with you. Here we are, finally at the end boss. Here we are, we're at the end. This is the final boss. The super fortress in the desert. You're going to use lots of grenades. You're probably going to get killed. There's just bullets coming at you everywhere. That almost reminds me of a shmup, the way it's just lobbing bullets at you. You really have to learn the routing patterns. And I haven't played it enough to learn them, but I'm sure it gets easier. I definitely check this game out. I think it's worth $9.99. Here we are, we're getting rescued by the helicopter. We've completed the mission. From the office of the commander, good work, soldier. We commend you for your bravery in halting the armed forces of the terrorists. Return to the headquarters. Your next mission awaits you. This has been Papa Brad with a review of Cabal. I am going to say that I like Blood Brothers better. I would say Blood Brothers is a little bit better. It's a little bit more fun, but this is an excellent game. I would say get both of them. You can see where all the mechanics came from in Blood Brothers. This game is harder, so if you want a more challenging game, go Cabal. If you want a little bit more fun game that's a little more forgiving, go with Blood Brothers, but they're both really good. Here, Punk Rock Dave is entering his initials in the end screen. Thanks a lot for doing this playthrough with me. It was fantastic playing through the whole game. Once again, it took us about 30 minutes. This game does have leaderboard support, and the funny part is me and Dave got the exact same score. So on the leaderboards, we got the exact same placing. We're both placed at 7, 500,000, and 20 points. This has been Papa Brad reminding you to stay legit. Please like and subscribe this video. Also, if you want to support independent content made on the iiRcade, a show made by the fans of iiRcade called the iiRcadians. I do have memberships. There are 3 different levels. We call ourselves the iiRcadians Illuminati. Feel free to join. It's a lot of fun. Also opened up a merch shop. I got all kind of cool stuff in there. We got t-shirts for the iiRcadians or Papa Brad's Gaming. All kinds of fun stuff in there. Check it out.